So, readers, welcome to the show Books and Theories. And this is one of the very special event in my show, I'll say, where we have author, marketing guy, and publisher and literary agent together. So, we have author and marketing guy, I can say myself, but we have publisher Arup here with me, and the best literary agent Sohail is here with us.
Thank you so much.
So I'll do this one as a quick show, I'll say, where I'll ask few questions with them. And मेरा जो मेन पर्पस है इन दोनों को एक साथ बुलाने का, ये देखने का कि हाउ वेल पब्लिशर एंड लिटरेरी एजेंट कैन जेल टुगेदर. So I'll throw a few questions.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll gel well together. We've got कितने 35 मेल्स है ना कि इन्होंने मेरा इनबॉक्स भरा हुआ है, तो मेरे भी दिमाग में टेंशन चल रहा है. तो अगर आपको ऑडियंस को थोड़ा गुस्सा दिख जाए मेरी तरफ से, तो वो 35 ईमेल्स का है. ये मेरे को व्हाट्सएप करते हैं, मैं भाई भेज रहा हूँ 35 ईमेल्स, मैं इनबॉक्स डीएक्टिवेट कर रहा हूँ. तो हमारी ऐसी बातें चलती रहती हैं. तो आई जस्ट थॉट मैं ऑडियंस को एक डिस्क्लेमर दे देता हूँ.
But the important thing is that हम तो जेल कर लेंगे. I want to know where is the hamper.
that I'll give it separately. Okay, so first question to Arup. Are literary agents act as a catalyst for a publishing company?
Definitely they do. You know, especially in the last decade, ये last 10 साल में, what we've seen is books are not just written कि मेरे को एक ख्याल आया, मैंने किताब लिख दी. There's also something called commissioned books. There's an idea कि मेरे को एज अ पब्लिशर एक आइडिया आया, मे बी आई एम रीडिंग अ न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल कि कहीं पे कुछ हुआ है, अरे ऐसा कुछ एक टॉपिक पे करते हैं. तो हाउ डू आई डू दैट? मैं अपने दिमाग दौड़ाता हूँ, एक ऑथर को समझाता हूँ, करता हूँ, और एंड आई एम अ लेजी पर्सन, तो इट्स मेरी मोर ईजी. मैं सुहेल को एक वॉइस नोट भेज देता हूँ, मैं लिटरली इसको वॉइस नोट भेज देता हूँ, एंड ही देन फिगर्स आउट कि ये एक ऑथर है, ही इज अ सब्जेक्ट एक्सपर्ट, he or she, and let's get these two people together and do a book. We're like, for example, doing a book where there's a subject matter expert on, let's say, a particular topic, and he brought along another author who's better at writing, and both of these two ladies and amazing people collaborating together to create this book, which will come out maybe middle of next year. And that's why, you know, definitely literary agents are catalysts, because starting from commissioning new ideas to vice versa, he comes back to me with ideas कि यार ये trending है, should we do something on this? And that's how the conversation starts, and we end up with an amazing book like Assassination of the Peshwa.
Definitely. And one question to you, Sohail. Obviously, when we work in industry, we face a number of challenges.
Sure.
So, being a literary agent, obviously, you get ideas, you collaborate with authors. So, what challenge you face when you work with different type of publishers?
See, I think it's very important to know what the speciality of that publisher is, because every publisher has their own niche, every publisher has their own strengths, and it's very important to play on those strengths. That part, and I'll obviously come to that. What I would also like to add is it's very important that what also is very important is to see what kind of a personal equation you have with, you know, a particular publisher. I think the reason why Arup and I are able to gel well, or we are able to discuss concepts, is because we have trust, you know, and we know that an idea that I am sharing with him or he's sharing with me will remain safe. You know, I think that is very important. I think that's the cornerstone of any equation, and that is the reason why, you know, we've been able to do some great work together. In fact, we keep on discussing something or the other, as he was rightly mentioning, and not just books, but maybe events, you know, and how we could leverage new ideas from that. So I think that is very important. So obviously different individuals will have different equations with various publishing houses, but at the end of the day we also need to understand that every publisher or every person in the trade is a professional, right? So you have to see what is the strength. So I'll give you a very interesting example. I was doing a book which was a book about you know, true cop stories. It was about 10 real stories which were, you know, worked on by police officials, and there's this author of ours who had written it. So I sent it out to a publishing house, and you know, the publisher wrote back saying that, well, this does not fit in my list, right? So the key takeaway for me was that it does not fit in her list,
Specifically
her list. So it was a cooperation, you know. So if there are individual publishing houses where you'll have one person or two people at the helm, so in that, if you say it doesn't fit in the list, which means it's not going anywhere. But in cooperations, you have different teams. And that was the takeaway. So what I did was I sent the same script to another, you know, commissioning editor within the same publishing house, and that book was signed up. So I think you need to know who's looking for what at a lot of stages. I think in India, non-fiction of late has been doing pretty well. And the funny thing is that, with a lot of the big corporations, they have several teams. But what will invariably happen is that, probably all of them will come to you and say that, why don't you pitch scripts? But all of them will come with almost the same brief. So if you have one book, you can only send it out to one person within a team. And if you have a book that is different from it, then you can probably send it out to none of them, because no one is looking for that. So that's how it is basically. But I think if you are in the trade and if you know, whose strength is what, it just becomes easier. What I personally feel is, and since we are discussing about fiction, non-fiction at this point in time, what I'd just like to add is that, a lot of literary agents in the country do not take up books on fiction. And this is something that I've gotten to know because there have been authors who've contacted me and asked me to represent their book. And I always ask them, but aren't you working with X literary agent? And they said, yes, but he said that he will not do fiction. So whenever you're doing non-fiction, you reach out to us. So in that case, I don't take up the book for two reasons. Number one, if I'm the literary agent, then I will work with the author. It does not matter whether you are doing a non-fiction or a fiction. If you and I are collaborating, then I have to be with you in all times, right? The second thing is that it also seems a little, the balance seems a little off, because it means that when you are writing the cream, you'll take it to somebody else. When you're writing the crumbs, you'll give it to me. And when I say cream and crumbs, I don't mean it in terms of, the creativity of the author. I mean it in terms of the market parlance. Yeah, what the publisher is looking at. So I think it's important, if you are seeing that there are certain publishers who are not looking at fiction books, then you may as well find publishers who are looking at it. It's your job as a literary agent to find that market by saying there's no market and only taking up books which are a comparatively easier sell, makes your job a little less important.
Agreed.
So if you are doing something, you may as well put that extra effort and find someone, for them. So I think that's how it is basically.
Cool.
True, and if I may add to it, I mean, I've seen this across multiple authors where we've collaborated together, where Suhail has not just pitched me a particular genre that the author has worked in, but also different genres that the author might have an interest in. Have we always collaborated on the different genre? Not always. But in most cases we have, because again, I come from a similar thought process ki, let's stick with the author and not the genre, because जो आज चल रहा है not necessarily कल चलेगा. Like we discussed, market trends change. But the important point is ki why not put in effort? Because like he rightfully said, there are a lot of people who want to do something which is the easiest to pitch and not the hard part. Ki let's sell something which is unsellable. That's where it becomes fun and your metal shows. And that way I'll always give Suhail 100% marks. I don't think there are very few authors that he's worked with who moved on to a different agent or worked directly. They stick with him through thick and thin because they know he's going to stick with him through thick and thin. मतलब ये मैं कह सकता हूँ, and I'm not just saying in front of him, otherwise also. मतलब वो 35 emails होने के बावजूद भी मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, आपको तो समझ
वो 35 emails गई इसलिए क्योंकि हमारा तालमेल इतना.
Exactly.
Definitely. So now the next round, what I'll do, I'll ask few questions. And for every question, I'll give two options.
Okay.
And I'll just see if your answers are matching or not.
Okay.
And how your tastes are matching. Okay. So first question to you, Suhail. Formals or casuals?
Mix of both. Seeing how I've come.
No, you have to select one.
Okay, formals.
Casual.
Okay.
I can see both of us today. I mean, he's slightly more formal. मैं ऐसे ही आ गया.
Okay. So family or friends? Priority wise.
Family.
Romance or thriller?
Thriller.
You're gelling well.
Of course.
Okay. So select one. Preeti Shenoy, Ajay Pandey, Ravinder Singh, Amish.
Amish.
बहुत दुविधा वाला क्वेश्चन है, but to answer very honestly, if I have to rank it 1, 2, 3.
No, you can say one.
Preeti ma'am, second Ajay. Both of them are amazing, and I'm ranking them 1 and 2 not because they're authors, but because they both are amazing people to work with, to be friends with, and I'm honored to call both of them friends. Amish, I had the honor of meeting very recently at a Litfest, and again, we gelled very well. And Ravinder again is a good friend. I can say that. So it's a very difficult question for me, but I'll say all of them are amazing people. from a readership perspective, definitely I enjoy reading Amish.
I think you both gel very well. So,
Yeah, so you know why I said Amish is predominantly because he brought in a revolution with respect to marketing.
marketing.
As far as marketing is
100%.
concerned. So, you know, all of them are great writers, but what set him apart from maybe others was the blitzkrieg in terms of the marketing that he did, which just became a precursor for several others to take a leaf out of. So,
100%,
Totally
I
agree.
think even today, in 2023, he's still relevant. Not because he is Amish who wrote a trilogy way back in 2008, 9, 10, but because he's still keeping himself relevant by being on top of trends, both writing and marketing. His recent book Idols, brilliantly written, and just see the energy. He was there at Bangalore the weekend before he was in Chandigarh, beach mein Lucknow mein the. Where is he not?
And active overall in social
Actively,
media.
he's actively posting on social media, actively meeting readers, actively taking up time to meet other people. I mean, and I was very glad to have him in the audience when I was doing my session, because the author another author of ours, Rishabh, and Amish, they go back, and Amish has endorsed his book. And Amish was kind enough to join us during the session. And how many people do that? Because he had 3 sessions that day. I mean, uske beech mein to find out time to come and sit at an author friend's session. That is amazing. So 100% I will always say this, that he's one a gentleman and be a powerhouse. मतलब energy नहीं खत्म होता. वो Duracell का battery never ends. Amazing gentleman.
Okay, so one last question on the gelling part. Animal or Sam Bahadur?
Sam Bahadur.
Sam Bahadur, 100%.
So I think you both gel 100% well. I think
the sort of books I read. So.
Except I think one question for formals and casuals, you
वो
both are
आप
gelling.
देख रहे हो.
So every question you're gelling it. So guys, here we have the publisher Arup and our literary agent Sohail. And thanks both of them for being on show and giving us an insight, a small bit of insight. Although we have the complete podcast available with us, you can click on the icon and you can see on the complete podcast. So thank you both of you for being on our show. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Gelling so well.
Yeah, gelling so well. And it was fun, doing this.
Absolutely. Always is a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.